Well, Governor McDonald, Lieutenant Governor Bowling, Attorney General Cuccinelli, General Officers, distinguished guests, and there's many of you here, and so I will not try to name all of you. Fellow service members, especially our veterans and the family who are here to represent our fallen heroes. It's an honor for me to be here today and speak it's almost 10,000 men and women if you include the Virginia Defense Force. So if I use that number, the governor's right, it's a little over 8,500, but I count 10,000 and I include the Virginia Defense Force. I think we've gathered here, I believe on the Capitol steps, this will be the 5th year to pay respect and give remembrance to the brave citizens who paid the ultimate sacrifice so that we may live in peace. Those that we're honoring here today come from cities and towns and counties across the Commonwealth, from Hampton Roads to the Shenandoah Valley, the Allegheny Mountains, and the cities and towns up in Northern Virginia, some from other states and some from other nations. They were sons and daughters, they were our loved ones and our friends, and they were all patriots. They represent what's good about this nation, and the previous speakers have already talked about that. They represent the components and the services of the armed forces, the Army, the Navy, the Marine Corps, the Coast Guard, and the Air Force. And much like many of those that went before them, they paid an ultimate sacrifice for this nation in order for us to enjoy the ideals of life and liberty and the pursuit of happiness. These brave fallen heroes that we honor here today all chose to raise their hand and make a commitment to this nation, to this Commonwealth, to protect each and every one of us along with our ideals and values. And for that bravery, they must be honored and always remembered. These men and women represent the best of this great Commonwealth and of this nation. They are the essence of peace and the ideal of democracy and freedom. Their service and sacrifice and that of their families has helped build a better America and a better Virginia. And we pledge here today, in this very solemn and special moment of remembrance, that we will not let their sacrifices pass in vain. Most importantly this morning, and the Governor and the Attorney General and the Lieutenant Governor have already mentioned this, but we want to make sure that we recognize the family members that are here for whom we're honoring these fallen comrades. And on behalf of all the men and women in the Virginia National Guard, which includes the Virginia Defense Force and the civilians that support us, we vow that your loved one's sacrifice will not be forgotten. And I'd like to conclude my brief remarks here with some words from President Abraham Lincoln at Gettysburg. I think he summed it up best about the idea of remembrance and thanks, and it goes something like this, and it's not word for word, but it goes something like this. For those heroes honored here today, we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion, that we here highly resolve that these fallen shall not perish in vain, that this nation under God shall have new birth and continued hope for freedom. Thanks for being here today. God bless all of you all, and God bless this nation and the Commonwealth.